It's a Friday, but a lot of our Filipino-American kababayans are not thinking of the weekend or vacation or relaxing even, because a lot of them are in front of the different China consulates here all over the U.S. because they are protesting the bullying tactics of China over the Spratlys. Of course, we've been talking about the Spratly Islands for the past few days and weeks now. It's hotly contested by different countries, but this coming month, this July actually, China is set to build their billion-dollar facility there to dig for oil, and that is what our kababayans are trying to cry out against. Rocio Nuida, a volunteer for Overseas Pinoys for Good Governance, they organized this simultaneous rally, protest rally, and she is joining us now from in front of the China consulate in Los Angeles. Hello and welcome to the show, Rocio. Thank you for making time for us.
You're welcome, Janelle. So you may hear the chanting in the background. There's about 200 Filipino Americans in front of the China consulate, all chanting, what do we want? China out. When do we want them out? Now, now, now.
Okay. Rocio, what do you hope to achieve by this? I know that it's not just happening in LA, in New York, in other places, and you've gone global as well with this protest rallies?
Yes, this global demonstration as far away as Australia, Canada, the Philippines, and as close to home as Washington, New York, Texas, San Francisco, Chicago, Hawaii, hopes to draw the world's attention to China's bullying tactics over its weaker neighbors who are the legitimate claimants to the Spratlys Islands. The world must sit back and watch such aggression that, if left unresolved, could escalate into a more serious dispute.
Right. Rocio, there are concerns for some of our kababayans, especially those that are working in China, mga OFWs. Now, there might be a backlash and they might be at the receiving end of that. And also, China might just one day decide to not hire OFWs from the Philippines. What's going to happen? Have you thought of that?
Well, it is possible that China's economic ties with Southeast Asian countries could sour if China is continued to be perceived like an arrogant military bully, as they did in 1988, when some 66 or 70 Vietnamese soldiers were slaughtered by Chinese gunboats, when they tore down the Chinese flags and buoy markers in part of Vietnam's exclusive economic zone. China must concede to come to the table for multilateral negotiations to resolve the dispute, to avoid loss of lives, prolonged or escalated conflicts that could be irreversible. If the OFWs become an unfortunate byproduct of the failure to multilaterally negotiate, then they will become a testimony to China's bullying tactics. Let history record that.
Right. What do you think? What is the proper response that you're expecting from China? Do you want them to just stop altogether? Do you want them to sit down with some of our leaders in the Philippines and maybe do a joint exploration type of agreement?
Exactly, Janelle. Because the 1992 ASEAN Declaration, in order to resolve such disputes, you know, where these intersect, and where there are disputed areas, multilateral negotiations should, you know, be invoked, because it's consistent with the 1992 ASEAN Declaration in resolving such disputes. Yet China refuses the solution and instead choose to act unilaterally, you know, making incursions into the 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zones of other countries, or building structures in those areas.
Right. So that said, Rocio, after this protest rally today that's happening all over the world, we can say that now, what are your other plans?
Well, this much I can say. I am a member of the U.S. Pinoys for Good Governance, so we will continue to observe and be mindful of what's going on with the dispute. And all countries that are signatories to the United Nations Convention of the Laws of the Seas, including China, who's also a signatory, are committed to protect freedom of navigation in the world's main waterways. We hope that the global rallies awake and lead these countries back to the diplomatic table to once and for all resolve the dispute. Inaction and complacency is a threat to world peace, I would say.
Okay, so finally, Rocio, how can we help? I mean, if we're not there now, obviously, we're watching you on TV. How else can we help? Do you need volunteers? Do you need donations? What do you need?
Volunteers, my dear. For example, I put up this rally in 1 week. You know, I was scrambling. I wanted some volunteers. So anybody who's interested, please access the www.epeoplepower.com, because that's where they will find information on the future plans for possibly more rallies until China pays attention.
All right. And one final message, Rocio, our oil, our soil, our oil.
Correct.
Thank you so much, and be safe out there.
Thank you, Janelle. Thank you for supporting the cause.
Of course. Anytime.
Okay.
Thank you. All right.
Okay. Bye-bye.
That's the website on the screen. They need more. They are planning for more actions, and that's the website if you want to be more involved. And we always talk about this on the show. We need to be aware, but we don't stop there. We also need to be involved. Kahit po malayo ang Pilipinas sa atin, malayo ang Spratlys sa atin, we are all affected because everything is interconnected. We're going to be back for more on Kababayan LA. Don't go away.